And Wisconsin is one of the only ones I think that is still set up where people could potentially do a half Ironman on one day and a full Ironman on the next day. So a little bit of a crazy challenge to do both. I've done over 20 plus Ironmans, so I was looking, hey, what else can I do, right? So
All right, and we are back again. We have more stuff to talk about all the things that have been going on the last several months here in and around Chicago. But now we're going to expand ourselves just a little bit, talk a little bit more about just the general goings on of things in Ironman. But most recently, or locally, we just got through coming back from Ironman Wisconsin, both 70.3 and the full distance. Somebody decided that they were going to participate in what is now known as a double, both the 70.3 and the full distance Ironman, back-to-back days. Still don't know how you did that, or how many people.
Oh, wow.
There was
About
50 people.
About 50 people did
The
it.
full double that whole weekend, Chris being one of them. And other 49 other very dedicated say iron distance athletes. But when you go over recap, I had several athletes that were doing their first full distance this year. Did great. Weather was amazing. Almost could not have asked for a better weekend for obviously what we've talked about Chicago Tri. Now what we had with Ironman Wisconsin. So for that weekend, also, do you think what was your experience like again with the double, and then with your athletes that were there participating, some of them for the first time?
yeah, and for people who don't know, I know we did a little video talking about that endeavor, but there aren't, I think it's the last
It is.
Ironman weekend festival where basically they have a half Ironman on one day and a full Ironman on the next day.
So they're changing
No, they've only done it, a
Des Moines.
couple other places had that same setup,
Yeah.
coming out of the pandemic, especially they consolidated
Right.
dates and events, and they would try to do a half and a full either on the same day or separate days. And Wisconsin is one of the only ones I think that is still set up where people could potentially do a half Ironman on one day and a full Ironman on the next day. So a little bit of a crazy challenge to do both.
full distance wasn't a challenge enough.
I know.
At Wisconsin.
But
Right.
I've done over 20 plus Ironman, so I was looking, hey, what else can I do, right? So this was a new challenge. And last year, I think they said 41 people signed up, but only 25 had finished it.
Yes.
So it was a tough challenge with a pretty high DNF rate if you do the math there. But I think this year, they said, I forget if it was 50-ish people signed up, and I think 40 or so finished the double. So it's not something as a coach I would recommend for most people to do.
Especially not if it's your first time.
I did it at a very easy intensity. But I think it's something unique, and the fact that there's more people doing it every year says something about how crazy we are, but also that you never know. Ironman might keep doing that, at least at Wisconsin, because
if you've already done the full distance and you're like, well, what's next?
Yeah.
besides just the next Ironman at a different location, we'll just add another.
And here in the Midwest, we already have Chicago Tri with a triple challenge, so why not have an Ironman double challenge, right? So
4, 2, 6
and
in a row.
And I saw somebody else wearing the triple challenge jacket at Wisconsin, so I wasn't the only crazy one to do a triple challenge and more. But yeah, it was a fun event, and I think Ironman Wisconsin to me is always, it's the kind of end of summer here in Chicago, like the last major event after the Chicago Tri, but it kind of kicks off the fall Ironman season, and pretty much every weekend after that, I feel like there's another major Ironman or half Ironman event going on. We had Frankfurt 70.3 the next weekend. We had Ironman Nice, the World Championships happening as well.
The men's race.
The men's race, yep, which is
Yeah.
the Norwegian suite, which is
Region Suite.
we can talk about that too as a whole other thing. And we had one of our Chicago athletes who actually qualified for Nice at Wisconsin the prior year. You got to race that and crushed it. Shout out to Adam. We had actually a couple athletes from Chicago out there as well. So we had that, and then we just had Ironman Maryland and Chattanooga.
Chattanooga was yesterday.
Chattanooga was yesterday. We had a couple athletes. So yeah, shout out to Kim and Jamie, some of our athletes that were out there crushing it. But yeah, it's fun to just track people. Every weekend I've got people on my tracker pretty much. And that continues going. We've got more Ironman events coming up, including for people that want to watch it, you can watch the Ironman World Championships.
The last women's only Ironman World Championships in Kona on
Back together again.
on October 11th, which is if you're doing the Chicago Marathon, just watch the rebroadcast because you need to go to bed. Just saying that right now. We have that one, but then we have Ironman Arizona, Ironman Florida, Ironman Cozumel in November. This is the last year, sadly, of Ironman Arizona. I really don't know, but I actually like that venue. It's a college town. Tempe is an amazing place. Tempe Town Lake,
Yeah, I noticed and I usually go every year, whether I'm racing it or spectating. And the last 3 years, I think I was down there spectating.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure we have a video of that.
yes.
But the trend, like since the first time I did it, which goes back almost 15 years, the water temperature has been getting colder
and colder
every year. And a lot of people get hypothermic. And so that started to really affect, I think, the DNF weight at that event, which used to be known as one of the best in terms of conditions overall. So I think there's the waning interest level. You're seeing more people now going to like Ironman California or Ironman Florida. So I think that is part of it. And I know Ironman does usually contracts with the cities for multi-year agreements and
then reevaluate.
Yeah, there might have been other factors, but
Speaking of Ironman Florida, we now have
a second one.
Yeah.
Ironman Jacksonville, which will be in May. So if you're looking at early season, your options now in North America, that is, you have Ironman Texas, which is always a crowd favorite. And you're like, nah. And now Ironman Jacksonville. So you have your choice. But then in the fall, you'll have Ironman Florida and Panama City, Florida.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see with all these new Ironman events. You know, the new ones have been popping up too. We've got next year. We've got the new one in Omaha.
Yeah.
Rockford just came this year, so it'll be the second year in Rockford.
Omaha is a 70.3.
Yep.
Just to be clear, 70.3, not a full.
Yep. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see like which events. It seems like some events have waning interest and some have, growing interest. So it's interesting to see where people are racing.
It's just nice to have a little bit of a mix. And, we have a race event for a few years, and then another location gets an opportunity to then showcase their city, their community, show how they can come out and support, obviously, Ironman Wisconsin.
Right.
We've talked about it's just overwhelms with amazing spectator participation over year. So, and again, we can't imagine that point location's going to be there forever, but
you never
from other locations to get some experience.
And you never know. At one point, Ironman Lake Placid was going to go away and had a resurgence.
Yeah.
So you never know what might show up. But if you're looking at for your 2026 season and a potential Ironman, think about, do you want to do an early season or late season? If you want to do an ocean swim, river swim, lake swim, if you want a flat bike, or a hilly bike, those are some things to weigh your options on. So if you have any questions, let us know. We're here.
Yeah,
drop a question or drop in the comments what might be your ideal location for an Ironman.
Yeah. Or if you're going to do a half or a full next year, which one are you thinking about? And I know at BFF Bikes, actually, we're going to have a tri-social next month in October. A Friday evening. It's usually the third Friday of the month. And we're going to do an Ironman panel talking exactly about how do you pick what Ironman to do? What are some considerations? I know some people also, they just announced, Ironman announced the 2026 Pro Series. So some people like to pick events where you can also see the professional athletes racing. So there's always the staples of Oceanside, Send Up 8.3 in the beginning of the year is the big half Ironman that tons of pros race. And then Ironman Texas is usually the North American Championship, where there's also a big pro race. But now they've announced all the other ones globally. So some people will pick based on that. The other big consideration for at least the competitive athletes is which ones can you qualify at, you know, which ones are more competitive, less competitive, and they just have a whole new qualification process now. So actually, shout out to at Ironman Wisconsin 70.3, we had several of our local Chicago athletes qualified. So Jonathan and Tarek, two of our athletes, they qualified for 70.3 Worlds for next year. And I know several other Chicago athletes as well who qualified. So we'll have a pretty big Chicago contingent next year. And because they announced that Nice is no longer going to have the full Ironman World Championships, they are going to have the 70.3 World Championships in Nice next year and then 2 years after that. So 2026 and 2028. So yeah, lots of fun reasons to pick different events, but we'll go into that at the Tri-Social. So maybe we'll record that as a separate video as well.
So usually third weekend or third Friday of the month is BFF Bikes Tri-Social Ironman panel, how to choose the right for your correct Ironman. So be there. We'll drop the notes and comments below. In the description below, but comment, like, subscribe, talk to us about what your Ironman experience either has been or where you're hoping it to be if you are planning on doing an Ironman. So that being said, anything else, you guys?
No.
All right. We got a few more things to talk about before we end all of our videos here for the month of September going to October. And we're going to talk a little bit more about our Super Tri series coming up for this year and back. So stay tuned.